तो यह अवसर हम सब के लिए बहुत ही खास है, सेलिब्रेशन का ये मौका है। और मैं माननीय मुख्यमंत्री हरियाणा श्री मनोहर लाल जी से, साथ ही श्री दुष्यंत चौटाला जी माननीय उप मुख्यमंत्री हरियाणा और इंडस्ट्री मिनिस्ट्री का भी दायित्व जो संभाल रहे हैं, एंड ऑनरेबल आर.सी. भार्गव साहब, चेयरमैन मारुति सुजुकी इंडिया लिमिटेड, एंड ऑल्सो Maruti Suzuki India Limited के Executive Vice Chairman Mr. Kenichi Ayukawa. I will request all of you to please take your seats on the stage, on the dais. और एक बार तालियां आप सबकी तरफ से जोरदार करताल ध्वनि के साथ आइए हम वेलकम करें, स्वागत करें, अभिनंदन करें इन विभूतियों का इस मंच पर। लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, वर्ष 2016 का था और इसी हॉल में यही जगह थी जहां माननीय मुख्यमंत्री श्री मनोहर लाल जी के नेतृत्व में हरियाणा समिट का आयोजन किया गया था। और माननीय मुख्यमंत्री महोदय का जो विजन हरियाणा प्रदेश में इंडस्ट्रीज को लेकर, इन्वेस्टमेंट को लेकर रहा है, उनके मार्गदर्शन में जो रोड मैप तैयार हुआ था 2016 में, इसी हॉल में हैपनिंग हरियाणा समिट के माध्यम से आज वो इस रूप में फलीभूत हो रहा है, साकार हो रहा है। यह हम सब के लिए गौरव की बात है। हरियाणा और मारुति सुजुकी इंडिया लिमिटेड, साथ ही सुजुकी मोटरसाइकिल इंडिया प्राइवेट लिमिटेड की व्यापारिक और औद्योगिक भागीदारी के, पार्टनरशिप के 4 वर्ष और 4 शानदार वर्षों का यह सेलिब्रेशन है, यह आयोजन आज का। इस बेहतरीन पार्टनरशिप के लिए एक बार आप सबकी तालियों के साथ आइए अपनी बधाई भी दें, हम शुभकामनाएं भी दें फॉर दिस लॉन्ग एंड वेरी स्ट्रांग पार्टनरशिप बिटवीन मारुति सुजुकी India Limited and Suzuki Motorcycle India Private Limited and the Government of Haryana। क्योंकि आज इस पार्टनरशिप को और मजबूती भी मिलने जा रही है, विस्तार मिलने जा रहा है और एक्सपेंड होने जा रहा है और भी स्ट्रांग होगा, क्योंकि आज मारुति सुजुकी इंडिया लिमिटेड और सुजुकी मोटरसाइकिल इंडिया प्राइवेट लिमिटेड के नए प्लांट्स के लिए लैंड अलॉटमेंट के समझौते पर यहां हस्ताक्षर भी होने जा रहा है। इस अवसर पर हम सबके मार्गदर्शक माननीय मुख्यमंत्री हरियाणा श्री मनोहर लाल जी, माननीय श्री दुष्यंत चौटाला जी उप मुख्यमंत्री हरियाणा और इंडस्ट्री मिनिस्ट्री का दायित्व संभालने वाले श्री दुष्यंत चौटाला जी, श्री आर.सी. भार्गव साहब और श्री मिस्टर केनिची आयुकावा जो कि मारुति सुजुकी इंडिया लिमिटेड के एग्जीक्यूटिव वाइस चेयरमैन हैं, ऑनरेबल गेस्ट जो भी डिग्निटीज यहां उपस्थित हैं, उन सबका हम हार्दिक स्वागत अभिनंदन करते हैं। एंड इन द वेरी बिगिनिंग आई विल रिक्वेस्ट मिस्टर हिसाशी ताकेयूची, मिस्टर ही इज मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर मारुति सुजुकी इंडिया लिमिटेड, टू कम फॉरवर्ड and present a plant to Honorable Chief Minister of Haryana, Sh Manohar Lal ji. Mr. Hisashi Takeuchi. Or definitely, with a big round of applause, we would like to welcome Honorable Chief Minister of Haryana on behalf of HSIIDC and also on behalf of Maruti Suzuki India Limited. Maruti Suzuki India Limited के Mr. Hisashi Takeuchi, Managing Director, ये प्लांट भेंट कर रहे हैं। Now I will request Mr. Yasuhide Kamo, who is Director Suzuki Motorcycle India Private Limited, to come forward and welcome Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Haryana, Shri Dushyant Chautala ji. Mr. Yasuhide Kamo, Director Suzuki Motorcycle India Private Limited, please come on the stage and present a plant to Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Haryana, Shri Dushyant Chautala ji, with a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, from all of you. मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा हमारे श्री वजेंद्र कुमार जी, प्रिंसिपल सेक्रेटरी इंडस्ट्रीज एंड कॉमर्स हरियाणा, कि वे ऑनरेबल श्री आर.सी. भार्गव साहब, चेयरमैन मारुति सुजुकी इंडिया लिमिटेड, जिनकी गरिमामय उपस्थिति है इस मंच पर, उन्हें प्लांट भेंट करके जोरदार तालियों के साथ उनका अभिनंदन करें, क्योंकि आर.सी. भार्गव साहब अपने आप में हम सब के लिए एक रोल मॉडल हैं और उनकी उपस्थिति हम सबको बहुत इंस्पायर कर रही है। मैं निवेदन करूंगा हरियाणा स्टेट इंडस्ट्रियल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट कॉर्पोरेशन के मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर श्री विकास गुप्ता जी से कि वे मारुति सुजुकी इंडिया लिमिटेड के एग्जीक्यूटिव वाइस चेयरमैन मिस्टर केनिची आयुकावा को प्लांट भेंट करके तालियों के साथ, आपकी करतलन के साथ उनका भी स्वागत अभिनंदन करेंगे। और अब मैं निवेदन करूंगा माननीय मुख्यमंत्री महोदय से, माननीय उप मुख्यमंत्री महोदय से एंड ऑल द डिग्निटरीज ऑन द स्टेज टू कम फॉरवर्ड फॉर लाइटिंग द लैंप। दीप प्रज्वलन के लिए मैं निवेदन करूंगा मुख्यमंत्री महोदय श्री मनोहर लाल जी से, आदरणीय दुष्यंत चौटाला जी, माननीय उप मुख्यमंत्री महोदय, एंड ऑल्सो श्री आर.सी. भार्गव साहब, and also Mr. Kenichi Ayukawa, Executive Vice Chairman Maruti Suzuki India Limited, to please come forward for lighting the lamp. जीवन में रोशनी आर्थिक प्रगति से आती है और आर्थिक प्रगति का ये कितना सुंदर एक सेलिब्रेशन भी है और ओकेजन भी है, क्योंकि माननीय मुख्यमंत्री महोदय के नेतृत्व में 6 साल पहले इसी सभागार में, इसी ऑडिटोरियम में, इसी हॉल में जो हैपनिंग हरियाणा समिट के माध्यम से रोड मैप और रूपरेखा तैयार हुई थी हरियाणा प्रदेश की औद्योगिक प्रगति के लिए, वो इस रूप में साकार हो रही है। एक बहुत ही सुंदर, ऐतिहासिक, भावपूर्ण और प्रेरक एक ओकेजन है, अवसर है लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, हम सब के लिए। और इस ओकेजन को हम सेलिब्रेट भी कर रहे हैं, अपनी गुड विशेस के साथ भविष्य के लिए और भी मजबूत कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि इसके जरिए बहुत कुछ ऐसा है जो हरियाणा में और प्रगति, औद्योगिक प्रगति को नई ऊंचाई मिलेगी। हरियाणा, मारुति सुजुकी ने हरियाणा के गुरुग्राम में, आप जानते ही हैं कि 1981 में अपने पहले कार प्लांट की स्थापना की थी और काम शुरू किया था, और बाद में हरियाणा में अपने मैन्युफैक्चरिंग फुटप्रिंट्स को वो लगातार बढ़ाते गए, क्योंकि हरियाणा प्रदेश में जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, जो माहौल है, जो सिस्टम है, वो उनको इतना सपोर्टिव है कि इससे उन सभी को, और आज तो हरियाणा एक ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टर्स के लिए सबसे बड़ा अट्रैक्शन इस देश में है, और इसका एक जीता जागता प्रमाण जो है इस रूप में है जो आज का ये कार्यक्रम है। सो थैंक यू वेरी मच, बहुत बहुत आभार ऑनरेबल माननीय मुख्यमंत्री महोदय का, उप मुख्यमंत्री महोदय का, साथ ही आदरणीय श्री आर.सी. भार्गव साहब का, और यहाँ हम सब के बीच उपस्थित इस मंच पर इस दीप प्रज्वलन में मिस्टर केनिची आयुकावा, मारुति सुजुकी इंडिया लिमिटेड के एग्जीक्यूटिव वाइस चेयरमैन। थैंक यू वेरी मच। हम सब की एक परंपरा है, एक ट्रेडिशन है कि हम विघ्नहर्ता भगवान गणेश की वंदना से उनको याद करके उनके प्रति श्रद्धानत होते हुए अपने कार्यक्रम या किसी भी शुभ कार्य की शुरुआत करते हैं। तो एक छोटी सी गणेश वंदना की प्रस्तुति है, और उस प्रस्तुति के लिए मैं आमंत्रित करता हूं हमारे प्रतिभावान उन बालिकाओं को जो हम सब की तरफ से, और हम सब उसमें शामिल होंगे, एक नेक नियति और भावना के साथ, प्रार्थना के साथ कि हम जो भी उपक्रम करने जा रहे हैं वो इसी तरह से सफल हो। प्रस्तुत है गणेश वंदना।
गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि। गानचतुराय गानप्राणाय गानान्तरात्मने गानोत्सुकाय गानमत्ताय गानोत्सुकमनसे गुरुपूजिताय गुरुदैवताय गुरुकुलस्थायिने गुरुविक्रमाय गुह्यप्रवराय गुरवे गुणगुरवे गुरुदैत्यकलक्षेत्रे गुरुधर्मसदाराध्याय गुरुपुत्रपरित्रात्रे गुरुपाखण्डखण्डकाय गीतसाराय गीततत्त्वाय गीतगोत्राय धीमहि तनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि
ईश्वर से यही प्रार्थना, जिस सोच के साथ, जिस संकल्प के साथ हम सब यहाँ एकत्रित हुए हैं, वो संकल्प हम सबका जरूर पूरा हो, क्योंकि ये संकल्प ऐसा है जो व्यक्तिगत हित के साथ साथ प्रदेश के और देश की प्रगति के लिए भी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। और ऐसे अवसर पर आप सबका स्वागत करने के लिए मैं निवेदन करूंगा आदरणीय श्री विजेंद्र कुमार जी, माननीय प्रिंसिपल सेक्रेटरी इंडस्ट्रीज एंड कॉमर्स, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ हरियाणा, कि वो आए और आकर माननीय मुख्यमंत्री महोदय का, उप मुख्यमंत्री महोदय, डैश पर उपस्थित डिग्निटरीज और आप सबका इस मौके पर स्वागत करें, अभिनंदन करें, वंदन करें आप सभी का। श्री विजेंद्र कुमार जी।
Honorable Chief Minister Sh Manohar Lal ji, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister Sh Dushyant Chautala ji, Sh R.C. Bhargav, Chairman MSIL, Sh Kenichi Ayukawa, Executive Vice Chairperson MSIL, Chief Principal Secretary to Chief Minister Haryana Sh Dipinder Singh Dhesi ji, Principal Secretary to CM Shri V. Uma Shankar ji, my colleagues from the administration, especially Vikas Gupta from HSIDC and Amneet from the Directorate of MSME, and all dignitaries present here. Today we are gathered here for a historic occasion. We celebrate more than 4 decades of Japanese presence in the state of Haryana. Today is a big step in the history of auto manufacturing in the country. You are aware that Japan and India share centuries of relations in the dimensions of culture, economy, and polity. Haryana's story of development got a major fillip in the 80s when Maruti Udyog Limited was established in the city of Gurugram. Since then, Japanese companies have been increasing their presence, not only in Gurugram, going on to Manesar and even at Rohtak. Today we take this development story forward by an allotment of 800 acres of land to MSIL at IMT Kharkhoda, which is in Sonipat. MSIL has committed to invest 18,000 crores at Kharkhoda, and Suzuki Motorcycles has committed to invest 1,466 crores. A total direct employment of about 13,000 persons is estimated there, besides the auxiliary employments, which will also be huge. IMT Kharkhoda is a big township of the HSIDC. We have 3,217 acres of land there, and all the ancillaries shall be coming up there. HSIDC has set up 36 industrial estates in the state of Haryana, and it has played a fundamental role in catalyzing economic growth and development. HSIDC now is taking major steps towards moving on from industrial townships to establishment of cities with the advent of Global City, Vision City, and few more cities to come. I am sure the presence of MSIL at IMT Kharkhoda will give a fillip to development in the state of Haryana and catalyze the economic growth of the state. I welcome you all to this historic occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Shri Vijendra Kumar ji, Principal Secretary Industries and Commerce, Government of Haryana. देवी सज्जनों, मारुति सुजुकी इंडिया लिमिटेड के स्वाभाविक सी बात है कि हर स्टेट चाहता है कि उसके राज्य में, उसके प्रदेश में इस तरह के प्लांट्स लगे, औद्योगिक प्रगति हो, लोगों को रोजगार मिले, आर्थिक प्रगति को गति मिले। लेकिन हरियाणा प्रदेश में माननीय मुख्यमंत्री महोदय के नेतृत्व में जिस तरह से ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस को धरातल पर साकार किया गया और एक अनुकूल माहौल इस तरह का बनाया गया, मारुति सुजुकी इंडिया लिमिटेड की पहली प्रेफरेंस स्वाभाविक सी बात थी कि हरियाणा स्टेट ही बना है। एंड ऑन दिस ओकेजन we have here on the stage Mr. Kenichi Ayukawa, who is Executive Vice Chairman, Maruti Suzuki India Limited. May I now request you, sir, for your address, please. Mr. Kenichi Ayukawa, Executive Vice Chairman, Maruti Suzuki India Limited, with a big round of applause from all of you. Let's once again welcome Mr. Kenichi Ayukawa and listen to him, his address, his emotions, his feelings.
Honorable Chief Minister Haryana, Sh Manohar Lal ji. Honorable Deputy Chief Minister Haryana, Shri Dushyant Chautara ji. Chief Secretary Shri Sanjeev Kaushal ji. Chief Principal Secretary Shri D.S. DC ji. Principal Secretary to Chief Minister Shri V. Umar Shankar ji. Principal Secretary Industry Shri Vijay Indra Kumar ji, MD HSIIDC Shri Vikas Gupta ji, Chairman Maruti Suzuki Mr. R.C. Bhargava, MD and CEO Maruti Suzuki Mr. Hisashi Takeuchi, Director Suzuki Motorcycle India Mr. Yasuhide Kamo, Senior officials from Haryana government and Gurugram administration, our supplier partners, industry leaders, and friends from media. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Namaskar. Thank you for joining today on this special occasion. Maruti Suzuki and the state of Haryana share a strong bond and a time-tested relationship. For the last 40 years, the state of Haryana has been the base of our manufacturing, and the people of Haryana has been our driving force. Haryana is our Karma Bhumi, our land of action. Haryana has provided will to the dreams of millions of Indians. Our first plant at Gurugram is in a 300-acre area. The Manesar plant that came next is at a 600-acre site. We further expanded our facility with a 600-acre R&D center at Lotak. And progressing further, we are delighted to sign for our biggest manufacturing facility on 800-acre land plot at Kalhoda. As we have experienced the growth of Maruti Suzuki, the prosperity of the state, and the people of Haryana are all interlinked with each other. When Suzuki Motor Corporation started operation in Haryana, India was not on global car manufacturing map. Today, India is the fourth largest car manufacturer in the world. And we hope that in coming years, India will become the third largest car manufacturer globally. Maruti Suzuki makes 1 in every 2 cars sold in India. We are also the largest exporter of cars from India. In all this, Haryana has a very big and important role. So, we are happy that Haryana is one of the top locations for car manufacturing, not just India, but the world. Today, we signed the agreement with the Haryana government for allotment of 800-acre land to Maruti Suzuki and 100-acre land to Suzuki Motorcycle India Private Limited. With the support of the state government, the first plant with Maruti Suzuki will start construction work on the car manufacturing plant immediately. With the support of the state government, the first plant with an annual capacity of 2.5 lakh vehicles is expected to be commissioned within the year 2025. The phase 1 of the project will have an investment of about 11,000 crore rupees. This including the land, the car manufacturing plant, and some common infrastructure and facility for future plants. The investment in the two-wheeler plant by Suzuki Motorcycle India India Private Limited will be separate and will be announced in due course. We thank Government of Haryana, led by Honorable Chief Minister Sh Manohar Lal ji and Honorable Deputy Chief Minister Shri Dushyant Chautara ji, for all their support. We are also grateful for the support given by all the officials across all ministry and departments in Haryana government to make this possible. I also request them to continue with their support in future as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to use today's opportunity to reaffirm the continuous commitment of Maruti Suzuki and Suzuki Motor Corporation for the development of automobile industry in India. We are thankful to the Government of Haryana and the Government of India for their continued support in our journey. Thank you and namaskar.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kenichi Ayukawa, Executive Vice Chairman, Maruti Suzuki India Limited. देवी सज्जनों, हम सबके बीच यहाँ सिरसा से माननीय हमारी सांसद सुनीता दुग्गल जी की भी गरिमामयी उपस्थिति है। आपका भी बहुत बहुत स्वागत है और पुनः सभी का स्वागत अभिनंदन। हम सब जानते हैं गुरुग्राम में मानेसर में मारुति सुजुकी के 2 प्लांट्स के जरिए लगभग 15.5 लाख से भी ज़्यादा कारों का उत्पादन किया जाता है पूरे साल में, और ये 2.5 लाख अब जुड़ने के बाद ये संख्या 18 लाख के करीब पहुंचेगी और ये बहुत बड़ा एक बूस्ट मिलेगा इंडस्ट्री को, ऑटोमोबाइल इंडस्ट्री को खासतौर पर। और मारुति सुजुकी वैसे भी लीडर है इस फील्ड में इंडिया में, उन्हीं की शुरुआत और उस सब के लिए हम सब के सामने एक रोल मॉडल के रूप में आदरणीय श्री आर सी भार्गव साहब की यहाँ गरिमामयी उपस्थिति है। ऑनरेबल चेयरमैन मारुति सुजुकी इंडिया लिमिटेड, may I now request respectable R.C. Bhargava Sahab to please come forward and share his feelings and guide us also on this occasion. Shri R.C. Bhargava Sahab. एक बार तालियां आप सबकी तरफ से भार्गव साहब के वेलकम के लिए।
आदरणीय मुख्यमंत्री जी, आदरणीय उप मुख्यमंत्री जी और यहाँ सारे जो एकत्रित डिग्निटरीज हैं, सबको मेरा नमस्कार। I am very grateful and have to express my thanks on behalf of Maruti Suzuki to the Government of Haryana and HSIDC for organizing this wonderful function. To mark our 40 years in Haryana as well as the start of what will be the biggest investment in the state and for Maruti, and perhaps the biggest investment in car manufacturing anywhere in India. Maruti was born in Haryana. We have grown up in Haryana. Haryana is a state where growth takes place and where there's no limit to growth. And we are therefore very happy to be in this state and to be participating in the betterment of the state and the people of this state. In 1982 October, the Government of India and Suzuki Motor Corporation signed an agreement to form a joint venture. Nobody dreamt at that time that this company which was formed would lead to the development of a large modern automobile industry in India that would create millions of jobs everywhere and huge wealth for the nation. The unbelievable success of Suzuki in India has actually led to the strengthening of economic ties between India and Japan. Haryana is the automobile capital of India. All of this has happened because of the state, its government, the trust which the government has developed with Maruti Suzuki, and I believe it is this working in a spirit of partnership and mutual benefit between the state and the industry which has led to the growth of not only Maruti but of industrial activity in the state. Our project, when we started in 1982, was 100,000 cars a year. Quite quickly, we exceeded all these figures and were nearing 700,000 production in Gurgaon. We had to expand, and Manesar became our second site. Manesar too reached full capacity of about 800,000 cars, and therefore we had to look for a third site, and Kharkhoda is the result of that. In addition, we have a world-class R&D facility in Rohtak. The success of Maruti is undoubtedly also due to the employees of the company, who without doubt are extraordinary in terms of their capability and their commitment to excel. Our vendor partners have played an equally important role in the success of Maruti in making it globally competitive. Last year, as was mentioned by Akara-san, we became the highest exporting car company in India, and the volume was something close to 240,000 units. We are net foreign exchange earners in Maruti for India today. The potential for future growth in India is huge, both in the domestic and the export markets. And Kharkhoda, where the potential is for production of about 1 million cars a year, will be a major contributor to meeting the demand of cars in India and abroad. We expect that, subject to market conditions in India being favorable, we will be able to reach our full capacity in Kharkhoda in about 8 years' time. Kharkhoda would, I think, become the largest car center anywhere in India, and I think there are not too many centers anywhere where in a single site 1 million cars would be produced. The whole success of Maruti shows that there is no alternative but for governments and private sector industry to work together with mutual trust. Unfortunately, there are still people in this country who do not accept that this is the best way to go forward. And they don't accept that by having this kind of industrial growth and with the state government participating in the success of industrial management and in the creation of a more competitive manufacturing, everybody benefits. And poverty is best eradicated, jobs are best created if the two work in partnership with each other. Over the last many years now, the Prime Minister has been taking numerous steps to make manufacturing in India much more competitive. The ease of doing business in India. The events arising out of the COVID pandemic and from the Ukraine-Russia conflict have also proven his wisdom of asking for Atmanirbharta. I think any sensible thinking person will understand that without growth of manufacturing, without Atmanirbharta, the future will not be what we want it to be. We have to continuously grow manufacturing, must keep reducing costs, improving quality, developing better technology. Investments for all these activities have to be given the highest priority by industry companies, and they have to generate and retain profits to invest in these areas. Maruti Suzuki has proven that when employees work as a single team and have a common goal of the success of the company and the growth of the company, success is assured. The contribution to this has to come from the supply chain to a very large extent. The supply chain includes Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 vendors. It includes large scale, medium scale, small scale, micro industries. All of them, each link in the supply chain, has to keep reducing costs, improving quality. There can be no compromise only on the grounds of the size or the location of an industry. The state government does a lot for the development of small-scale industry. The state government, I'm sure, will see that every step required to make small-scale industry globally competitive in terms of cost and quality are taken so that the basic infrastructure for industrial development in the state becomes stronger. We have also to recognize that industry, to become competitive, needs to continuously reduce costs. And time is a major factor of cost.
उनके एड्रेस के लिए, उनके संबोधन के लिए वो आए और इस अवसर पर अपने संबोधन से हम सबको कृतार्थ करें। आदरणीय श्री दुष्यंत सिंह चौटाला जी, उप मुख्यमंत्री हरियाणा।
Very good afternoon. माननीय मनोहर लाल जी, मुख्यमंत्री हरियाणा सरकार, श्री आर.सी. भार्गव जी, चेयरमैन मारुति सुजुकी इंडिया लिमिटेड, श्री कोनिची आयुकावा जी, एग्जीक्यूटिव वाइस चेयरमैन मारुति सुजुकी इंडिया लिमिटेड, हिसाशी ताकाउची जी, एमडी सीईओ मारुति सुजुकी इंडिया लिमिटेड, शिजो तोगी तोरी जी, जॉइंट डायरेक्टर मारुति सुजुकी इंडिया लिमिटेड, याशुहिदे कामो जी, डायरेक्टर सुजुकी मोटरसाइकिल इंडिया लिमिटेड, डीएस देसी जी, सीपीएस सीएम, उमा शंकर जी, विजेंद्र कुमार जी, विकास गुप्ता जी, अमनीत जी, हमारे सिरसा से सांसद सुनीता दुग्गल जी, सुधीर सिंगला जी, हमारे विधायक जिनके क्षेत्र में मारुति का दूसरा प्लांट लगा था, यहाँ पर मौजूद तमाम मारुति सुजुकी इंडिया लिमिटेड और सुजुकी इंडिया लिमिटेड के डायरेक्टर्स, बोर्ड मेंबर्स, उनकी एंसेलरीज से जुड़े तमाम इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट साथी, प्रेस के साथी, हरियाणा का और मारुति का जो एक रिश्ता रहा है, जैसे अभी भार्गव जी ने कहा, इट्स वेरी लॉन्ग। फर्स्ट प्रोडक्शन वाज स्टार्टेड 40 years ago, और हम बात करें लैंड एलोकेशन की तो शायद उससे भी 4-5 साल पहले 1977 से ये प्रोसेस शुरू हुआ, और 45 साल का ये जो दौर रहा है, द डिस्टेंस सुजुकी मारुति हैज मूव्ड विथ द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ हरियाणा, आई थिंक इट्स नियरली 5 decades old. And in this relation, Haryana has seen the prosperity working with the industry. In the last 4.5 decades, if we talk about Gurgaon today, it was a small rural area and Maruti entered. And you see Gurgaon in 2 phases today. From that small rural area, we saw Maruti coming in, then the ancillaries coming in. Today, on the global map, we see is that a city which stands proudly. And then Maruti, in the decade of 2000, moved to Manesar for the second plant. And in that movement, Manesar was a small rural area. And we have seen the development in Manesar, the ancillaries now coming up. And Manesar, from a village, in the history of Indian development progress, it's the first city from village it has moved up to a municipal corporation. And we hope the same will come up in Kharkhoda, that from a small municipal council, when Maruti moves there, we will see the development coming along, and we would see how Maruti and its ancillaries, Suzuki and its ancillaries come along and take Kharkhoda to that level where urbanization comes in, development comes in, progress comes in. We proudly stand here today saying that Haryana is land of prosperity, and we have seen that from the days of industrialization in India till today, there has not been a single industry which doesn't have its base in Haryana. Friends, out of the Fortune 500 companies, we see bases of about 250 plus Fortune 500 companies which are established in our state. The advantage that our state has is is 57% of our state's area is part of the NCR region. We have the best connectivity in terms of road, rail, and because of Indira Gandhi International Airport, we see the best connectivity in terms of air also. But yes, with industries coming in, businesses coming in, new IT, ITS sectors coming in, hospitality industry coming in, we foresee that Haryana will move forward with the support of the Government of India and the Prime Minister. We have seen major expressway cutting across the states. Friends, when we talk about connections throughout the nations, Haryana has that advantage that it is part of the Amritsar, Kolkata and the Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor. We have 2 dedicated freight corridors coming in through the states to connect our national capital. We have 11 expressways now connecting our national borders through our state. We have more than 25 national highways which cut across our states, and then the state highways and infrastructure has also been taken forward the way industry has demanded over the period. Getting the Kundli-Manesar Palwal or the Western Peripheral Highway, friends, it has connected 4 districts which were already into that industrialization phase with the rest of the state. And we foresee our SR aviation hub coming up in the future to be one of the centermost point of aviation connectivity. We have Chandigarh International Airport, Delhi International Airport, and we as a state also is planning to connect better connectivity through regional connectivity scheme of the Aviation Department, Government of India, to develop our Narnaul, Karnal, Pinjore and Bhiwani airports to rest of the country. The work is in progress. Plus, we are going to be one of the first states to get a helipad in Gurugram, right on the connection of the Dwarka Expressway and the Jaipur National Highway. And I think that connectivity will help industry also to connect. If somebody is coming in from Japan to visit Gurugram, Manesar and Kharkhoda, I think it is going to be one of the best connectivity for everybody at Maruti Suzuki also to take a car from the IGI, visit the Gurgaon plant, go forward to the Manesar plant, come back, take a helicopter and go to Kharkhoda and come back to IGI. Other than that also for industry, the heli-hub will give connectivity, I think, to the full northern region of India. With that, the dedicated freight corridor coming along KMP, in which Maruti Suzuki also is 10% stakeholder, will also boost the connectivity of cargo transportations to our seashores. Also, better transportations of produced vehicles from your plants throughout the country. Friends, when we stand here today, the state has taken, as Mr. Bhargav was also mentioning, multiple steps to help industry coming with ease of doing business. And I think the new labor laws coming in, which Haryana is one of the first states to accept, it will boost production, become industry friendly, and also keep the rights of our laborers. In the past 2.5, 3 years, we have seen big mother plants, big industries establishing themselves in the state of Haryana. Yes, one today is Maruti Suzuki India Limited and Suzuki Motorcycle, which have now sent a benchmark to start their productions by 2025, employ 11,000 youths, also invest in the state with an investment worth 18,000 crores. This is one big ticket we can proudly say. We have Aditya Birla Group establishing their first paint manufacturing plant next to the refinery in Panipat. We have ATL Batteries, which also belongs to Japan, establishing their small battery manufacturing plant at IMT Sona Rojka Mein. We have Flipkart now establishing their biggest warehouse in Asia in Manesar, which will not even feed the NCR region, but feed their capacity for 6 states connecting to our national capital region, also the northern region of our country. We have Enrich Ergo, Panasonic, we have Coca-Cola, and all multinational companies now looking forward to the state of Haryana to establishing their bigger and better and modern infrastructure. Friends, I would proudly say that